everybody.
Hello.
Good evening. Well, I have just finished testifying. I answered every one of their questions as fully as I could, based on what I knew, and what I knew is what I said in my statement this morning. I never met Jeffrey Epstein, never had any connection or communication with him. I knew Ghislaine Maxwell casually as an acquaintance, but whatever they asked me, I did my very best to respond. It was disappointing that they refused to hold a public hearing, so I wouldn't have to be out here characterizing it for you. You could have seen it for yourself. We had asked for that. We think it would have been better for the committee and its efforts to gather whatever information they are seeking. We had a bit of a challenge in the beginning because we had agreed upon rules based on the fact it was going to be a closed hearing at their demand, and one of the members violated that rule, which was very upsetting because it suggested that they might violate other of our agreements. So we had to cease the hearing for a period of time until we could get assurances that no rules would be broken going forward, and we returned to answer questions repetitively, literally over and over again. I don't know how many times I had to say I did not know Jeffrey Epstein. I never went to his island. I never went to his homes. I never went to his offices. So it's on the record numerous times. It then got, at the end, quite unusual because I started being asked about UFOs and a series of questions about Pizzagate, one of the most vile, bogus conspiracy theories that was propagated on the internet, that was serving as the basis of a member's questions to me. So I can only say that the best exchange that I had came at the very end, when, contrary to every other deposition they have taken, no Republican member asked any questions about Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell to anyone else they have deposed. And in fact, the Republican members didn't even show up for the deposition of Les Wexner. And when I said that, I had to point out that the only questions that any Republican member asked of any of the people they deposed was of former Attorney General Bill Barr, when Chairman Comer asked him about the allegations, in his view, about Russia's involvement in my election in 2016. So at the very end of this hearing, after I made that point, I want to commend Chairman Comer for raising a series of significant questions that I responded to about the nature of the investigation and the areas that I thought should be explored. So I appreciated that. I want to see the truth come out. So that was a reassuring way to end a very long, repetitive deposition.
A tense moment has emerged in South Africa's parliamentary political landscape after Economic Freedom Fighters Member of Parliament Sal Lonzi accused African National Congress Member of Parliament Kusila Diko of allegedly attempting to claim credit for what he described as an EFF victory on the data issue. Lonzi's remarks were direct, pointed, and unmistakable in tone, raising questions about political ownership, accountability, and the significance of policy victories in Parliament. At the center of the exchange is Lonzi's assertion that the achievement belongs to the EFF, and his firm rejection of any suggestion that it could be attributed elsewhere. EFF MP Sal Lonzi publicly accused ANC MP Kusila Diko of allegedly attempting to steal the victory of the EFF, regarding what he referred to as the data issue. His statement suggests that he believes the EFF played a decisive role in securing a particular outcome related to data, which he characterizes as a victory attributable specifically to his party. Lonzi's choice of words was deliberate and symbolic. By stating that the victory was being stolen, he implied that there was an attempt to take credit for an achievement that, in his view, did not originate from the ANC or its representatives. His accusation was not framed as a casual observation but rather as a serious political claim involving ownership of a policy or parliamentary outcome. The allegation, as expressed by Lonzi, indicates that the dispute is not merely about policy but also about recognition, influence, and political legitimacy within the legislative process. Lonzi's statement refers specifically to what he called the data issue. While the exact policy details were not outlined in the facts provided, his reference makes clear that the matter is considered significant enough to be described as a victory. Within parliamentary and political contexts, references to victories typically relate to legislative outcomes, oversight actions, or successful advocacy efforts that result in policy shifts, accountability measures, or commitments from government structures. Lonzi's assertion that the EFF secured a victory suggests that his party believes it played a decisive role in influencing or achieving a particular outcome. His remarks indicate that the data issue is viewed as important not only in policy terms but also in political terms, particularly in demonstrating the effectiveness and influence of his party. One of the most notable elements of Lonzi's statement was his metaphorical comparison when he said, "The victory of the EFF is not PPE, it cannot be stolen." This statement carries symbolic meaning. Personal protective equipment, commonly referred to as PPE, became widely associated in South Africa with controversies involving procurement and allegations of irregularities during critical periods. By referencing PPE in his remark, Lonzi appeared to use the comparison to emphasize that, in his view, the EFF's achievement is something that cannot be taken or misappropriated. His statement suggests that he believes the victory is firmly established and clearly attributable, and that attempts to claim credit for it would not be legitimate. The comparison also underscores the seriousness with which he views the matter, highlighting that the dispute involves principles of accountability and recognition. In parliamentary environments, political parties often compete not only over policy positions but also over recognition for outcomes achieved. Credit for legislative or oversight successes can influence public perception, strengthen political credibility, and demonstrate effectiveness to supporters and voters. Lonzi's allegation reflects the importance of recognition in parliamentary politics. His statement suggests that he believes the EFF's role in the data issue was significant and that any attempt by another political figure to claim credit would undermine the party's efforts.